Good afternoon. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court Criminal Docket for October 24th, 2023. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all orders and directives and being streamed live via YouTube for public viewing. Mr. Marufo, would you call our next case, please?
Middle of page 20, Judge. Annex, may we have Justin Daniel?
Coming up.
Mr. Daniel, is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is it Mr. Oh, there you are, Mr. Huffman. Okay, let's get started.
In cause number 2023-0D02594 and 2023-0D00522, State of Texas versus Justin Daniel. Announcement of counsel, please.
David Vandenberg on behalf of the state. The state is ready.
Rick Hoffman on behalf of Mr. Daniel, we're ready.
And for purposes of the record, Mr. Daniel is appearing remotely for today's plea hearing. Mr. Daniel, I did receive written confirmation from you that you were in agreement with conducting this proceeding over Zoom. Is that your agreement? Is that how you wanted to do the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Get started with your plea. I need to swear you in. Sir, would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that any testimony you provide will be the truth and the whole truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. You can put your hand down. Would you please state your name and date of birth for the record?
Justin Marquise Daniel, April 20th of 1988.
Mr. Daniel, I did receive documentation from your attorney indicating your intent to plead guilty in each case. I received a document marked as State's Exhibit Number 1. Those are the plea papers in this case or in these cases. Within those documents, you're guaranteed certain rights, including the right to remain silent, the right to trial by jury, the right to counsel, the right to confront and cross-examine witnesses, and the right to call witnesses on your behalf and in your defense. Mr. Daniel, do you recall reviewing State's Exhibit Number 1 with your attorney, and do you recall signing those documents?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within those documents?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Huffman, have you had more than 10 days to prepare defenses in these cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you explain the plea papers to your client?
Yes, I did.
Do you believe he has understood the admonishments, rights, and consequences of giving up these rights by entering his pleas today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Daniel, are you satisfied with your attorney's representation of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Huffman, any reason to believe your client is not presently competent to enter his pleas?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Daniel, have you ever been found mentally incompetent by any court?
No, ma'am, I have not.
Ever been examined by a doctor or psychiatrist who has found you mentally ill?
No, ma'am.
So based on your testimony, your attorney's representations, and my observations of you, I'm going to find that you are competent to enter your pleas today. Sir,
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Where were you born?
Abilene, Texas.
Sir, in cause number ending 2594, well, actually, in both cases, you were charged by indictment with the offense of prohibited substance item in a correctional facility. As to cause number ending 2594, what is your plea? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And as to cause number ending 0522, what is your plea?
Guilty.
Are you making each of your pleas freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll find you are making your pleas freely and voluntarily. Mr. Vandenberg, would you summarize the evidence, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Had these two matters gone to trial, the state of Texas would have been able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that on or about the 15th day of November 2022, and anterior to the presentment of this indictment in the county of El Paso in the state of Texas, Justin Daniel, hereinafter referred to as defendant, did then and there intentionally and knowingly possess a controlled substance, namely tetrahydrocannabinol, while in the El Paso Transitional Center at 1650 Horizon Boulevard, El Paso County, Texas, a correctional facility. And is further presented that prior to the commission of the charged offense, hereafter styled the primary offense, on the 21st day of December 2011 in cause number 10131-D in the 350th District Court of Taylor County, Texas, the defendant was finally convicted of the felony offense of burglary of habitation. And is further presented that prior to the commission of the primary offense and after the conviction in cause number 10131-D was final, the defendant committed the felony offense of assault, family member impeding breath or circulation, and was finally convicted on the 24th day of November 2020 in cause number 14609-D in the 350th District Court of Taylor County, Texas. And the second,
Hold on, Mr. Vandenberg, are those are enhancement paragraphs that you're reading there?
those are priors, Your Honor.
And are you going to be abandoning those?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All righty, go ahead.
And in the second matter, which ends in 0522, the state of Texas would have been able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Daniel did then and there intentionally and knowingly possess a controlled substance, namely cocaine, while on property owned or used or controlled by a correctional facility, namely the El Paso Transitional Center, 1650 Horizon Boulevard, El Paso County, Texas. At this point, the state would request that both exhibits 1 and 2 be admitted into evidence on both causes, Your Honor.
And 2 is the 3914?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection, Mr. Huffman?
No, Your Honor.
States 1 and 2 are admitted in each case. What is the plea agreement?
In both matters, the state would recommend the defendant be sentenced as follows: to 2 years confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Correctional Institutions Division with no period of community supervision, and both matters run concurrently.
Mr. Huffman, is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Daniel, is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Understand that the plea agreement is not binding on the court. However, if I were to reject it, I would allow you to withdraw your pleas. If I follow the plea agreement, you may not appeal these cases except on matters raised by written motion and rolled on before trial or by permission of the court. The next document I'm going to ask you about is the one-page document entitled the Trial Court Certification of Your Right to Appeal. It is a document that explains your appeal rights because these are plea bargained or negotiated cases. You do not have an automatic right of appeal. Mr. Daniel, do you recall reviewing the trial court certification for each case after you reviewed it with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
They were signed by your attorney and signed by the court as well. So on your pleas of guilty and the evidence introduced, I will accept your pleas and at this time find the evidence substantiates your guilt. As to each cause number, I will find you guilty of the offense of prohibitive substance or items in a correctional facility. And I will sentence you in each case to 2 years confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Institutional Division. Those sentences will run concurrent with one another and you will receive credit for any and all time that you have served. Is there anything further, Mr. Vandenberg?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Huffman?
Your Honor, Ms. Welch was nice enough to run the time credits for me, and I just kind of wanted to read it so the court and Mr. Daniel have it. On the cause ending in 2594, he's got 258, and on the cause ending in 1552, he has 262. And
Okay.
that's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Anything else?
Not from the defense.
Good luck to you, Mr. Daniel. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who's next?
Right below that one, Judge. Annex, may we have Hutcherson, David Lee?
Coming up.
Mr. Hutcherson, is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is that yours, Mr. Huffman?
Yes, Your Honor.
In cause number 2022-0D02619, State of Texas versus David Lee Hutcherson III. Announcement of council, please.
David Vandenberg on behalf of the state is ready.
Rick Huffman on behalf of Mr. Hutcherson, we're ready.
And Mr. Hutcherson is appearing remotely from the jail annex. Mr. Hutcherson, I did receive a written consent to conduct this plea via Zoom remotely rather than in person. Is that your agreement here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we're going to get started with your plea. Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that any testimony you provide will be the truth and the whole truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. You can put your hand down. Would you please state your name and date of birth for the record?
David Lee Hutcherson, my birthday 10/21/1984.
Mr. Hutcherson, as I mentioned, amongst the documents is State's Exhibit number 1. Those are the plea papers in this case. Within that document, you're guaranteed certain rights, including the right to remain silent, the right to trial by jury, the right to counsel, the right to confront and cross-examine witnesses, and the right to call witnesses on your behalf and in your defense. Mr. Hutcherson, do you recall reviewing State's Exhibit number 1 with your attorney and signing that document?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within that document?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Huffman, have you had more than 10 days to prepare a defense in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you explain the plea papers to your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has understood the admonishments, rights, and consequences of giving up these rights by entering his plea today?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Hutchison, are you satisfied with your attorney's representation of you?
Yes, he's a good lawyer.
Very good. Mr. Huffman, any reason to believe your client is not presently competent to enter his plea?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Hutchison, have you ever been found mentally incompetent by any court?
No, ma'am.
Ever been examined by a doctor or psychiatrist who has found you mentally ill?
Not that, no, ma'am.
No? Is that a no?
Not that I know of. No, no.
Are you on any type of mental health treatment? Has anybody, do you have any conditions that maybe have been diagnosed or any mental health condition that you're feeling that are preventing you from understanding what we're doing today?
No, ma'am.
Okay. You've been able to effectively communicate with your attorney?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So based on your testimony, your attorney's representation, and my observations of you, I'm going to find you are competent to enter your plea today. Sir, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Where were you born?
Alameda County, Oakland, California.
In this case, sir, you were charged with the second-degree felony of robbery. To that charge, what is your plea, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, ma'am.
Are you making your plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
I will find you are making your plea freely and voluntarily. Mr. Vandenberg, would you summarize the evidence, please?
Your Honor, had this matter gone to trial, the state of Texas would have been able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that on or about the 11th day of July, 2022, and anterior to the presentment of this indictment in the county of El Paso in the state of Texas, David Lee Hutcherson III, hereinafter referred to as defendant, did then and there, while in the course of committing theft of property and with intent to obtain or maintain control of said property, intentionally or knowingly threatened or placed Manuel Sosa in fear of imminent bodily injury or death. Mr. Hutcherson also did then and there, while in the course of committing theft of property and with intent to obtain or maintain control of said property, intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly caused bodily injury to Manuel Sosa by striking Mr. Sosa about the face or head with the hand of the defendant. At this point, Your Honor, the state would request that both exhibits 1 and 2 be admitted, and number 2 is the 3914 disclosure form.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
States 1 and 2 are admitted. What is the plea agreement?
The state recommends that the defendant be sentenced to 2 years community supervision under the deferred adjudication provisions of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. He be assessed a fine in the amount of $3,000 with $3,000 probated, payable immediately or in equal monthly installments throughout the term of community supervision. Additionally, the state recommends imposition of all the standard terms and conditions of community supervision, as well as the following conditions. The defendant performed 300 hours of community service, prorated monthly as a condition of community supervision, and be subject to UABAs and a curfew.
Mr. Huffman, is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hutcherson, is that your understanding as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me ask, is there any type of relation with the complainant?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
So there's going to be a no contact with the complainant in addition to that. Okay, understand, Mr. Hutcherson, that the plea agreement is not binding on the court. However, if I were to reject it, I would allow you to withdraw your plea. If I follow the plea agreement, you may not appeal this case except on matters raised by written motion and ruled on before trial or by permission of the court. The next document I'm going to ask you about is the one-page document entitled The Trial Court Certification of Your Right to Appeal. It is a document that explains your appeal rights. Because this is a plea bargained or negotiated case, you do not have an automatic right of appeal. Mr. Hutcherson, do you recall reviewing the trial court certification with your attorney and signing that document?
Yes, I do.
It was signed by your attorney and signed by the court as well. Finally, the motion for deferred adjudication. Mr. Hutcherson, did you review with your attorney the motion for deferred adjudication and did you sign it?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
Mr. Huffman, did you explain to your client both the benefits and detriments of deferred adjudication?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Mr. Hutcherson, do you understand that if you violate a condition of deferred adjudication, the court can proceed to sentence you up to the full range of punishment, in this case, anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you still asking the court to grant you deferred adjudication?
Yes, ma'am.
I will find there is sufficient evidence to substantiate a finding of guilt. However, I will not enter a finding of guilt at this time. Instead, I will defer further proceedings and place you on deferred adjudication probation pursuant to the plea agreement for a period of 2 years. There will be a $3,000 fine, all of which is probated, which means you will not owe the fine as long as you're compliant with your probation. If you're not compliant, then you're going to owe the fine. 300 hours of community service, curfew subject to urine and breath analysis, and there is going to be a no contact order with the complainant in this case. Is there anything further, Mr. Vandenberg?
From the state, Your Honor.
Mr. Huffman?
Judge, my client lives in California with his mother. It's my understanding that he doesn't have any family here in El Paso. So
Okay.
we will be requesting a transfer to California.
So let's get probation notified of that, Mr. Hutcherson. There is a process, okay, about transferring out of state, and that takes time. And so you need to follow all the instruction probation gives you, meaning and probably including you stay here in El Paso while they get that transfer squared away to see if California will take you. In the interim, if you, for whatever reason, need to travel, you need to ask permission to do that. Make sure and let your probation officer know, and they will let me know. Okay, if you do it promptly, I get to those very quickly, okay?
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll refer you to probation on anything else. Mr. Huffman?
Briefly, Judge.
Mhm.
I don't recall if the possession of marijuana under 2 ounces was to be dismissed. Am I mistaken? Did I not wrap up the misdemeanor POM? I guess that's a question for Mr. Vandenberg.
Yeah, it would be. I don't recall that being part of that.
I'll email you.
You email me. We'll work on that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, and I am getting a note, a chat here, Mr. Hutcherson, that probation will be calling you shortly, okay?
Can I ask you one question, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
I was want to know, will I be able to get my money back?
Did you post a bond, or what are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about the money they took off me at the time I got arrested.
So all of that should be in the property of the jail. So it should be there. They inventory those things. You can check, Mr. Huffman, maybe you can check the jail records.
You know, I think, are you talking about when you were arrested in California and extradited to El Paso?
No, I'm talking about when I have to call this case here.
They must have seized it. I'm not aware of like a civil case, but yeah, you call my office and we'll see if we can track it down. We'll get it out.
Sometimes it's just I guess like the inventory that they do when they get booked of their property. So you might look into those records. Everything that you were booked with that they took custody of should go back to you, Mr. Hutcherson.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're
He's
welcome.
already found it out before. I mean, so he should
Oh,
have the money back. That's why I think
so
maybe.
I see what you're saying, from the initial time, and then I guess he fled and they got him in California. Is that what it was?
Well, the bond company got off his bond because he was in custody, but he didn't.
Okay, I'm not sure I'm understanding. So I'll refer you to Mr. Huffman.
Call me when you get out, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Hutcherson, take care. Who's
Thank you.
next?
Have a blessed day.
You too.
Bottom of page 21, Judge.
Mhm.
Annex, may we have Ramirez, Arturo Ramirez?
Your Honor, I think I'm done today. May I be excused, please?
Mr. Marufo, is that true? Do we know?
Do we know?
Mr. Ortega. Ay, Dios mío. Ms. Ortega, are you on everything else on this
I
docket?
believe so, yes.
Okay, if Chantal says it's okay, for sure.
Then that's good. I
Mr.
appreciate you,
Vandenberg.
Chantal.
See you later.
May I ask a question, Mr. Modufo? Are we done with the jail? You'll go back to the jail from the annex for Martinez.
We're doing the pleas right now, as I think this is.
Oh, okay.
Take care of
okay.
it.
All right, this is Ramirez.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is that yours, Mr. Huffman?
Yes, Your Honor.
In cause number 2023-0D02234 and 2023-0D03594, State of Texas versus Arturo Ramirez. Announcement of council, please.
Val Ortega for the state is ready.
Rick Huffman on behalf of Ramirez, we're ready.
Let's try that again, Mr. Huffman, because your connection kind of slowed up there.
Rick Huffman on behalf of Mr. Ramirez, we are ready.
Okay. Mr. Ramirez, can you hear your attorney okay?
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so I have you scheduled for a plea on both of these cases. I did receive your written agreement to conduct this over Zoom rather than in person. Is that correct?
Mr. Hoffman?
Can we double check that we have the consent to do this over Zoom?
I hope so.
I showed that it's exhibit 4 that was sent, but I don't know.
Whatever is easier for your court, ma'am.
Well, I need to confirm I have that written
Excellent,
consent. So let me look.
excellent.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Ramirez, I did receive that written consent on both cases. And so I'm just wanting to confirm with you, you're in agreement to do this over Zoom rather than coming in person to the court?
I would greatly appreciate that, ma'am.
Okay, so let's get started. Would you raise your right hand, please? Sir, do you swear or affirm that any testimony you provide in these cases will be the truth and the whole truth?
I do, ma'am.
Thank you very much. You can put your hand down. Would you state your name and date of birth for the record?
Arturo Ramirez, June 26, 1978, ma'am.
Mr. Ramirez, as I mentioned, I did receive documentation from your attorney indicating that you intend to plead guilty in these cases. The first document in each case is marked as State's Exhibit number 1. Those are the plea papers. Within that document, you're guaranteed certain rights, including the right to remain silent, the right to trial by jury, the right to counsel, the right to confront and cross-examine witnesses, and the right to call witnesses on your behalf and in your defense. Mr. Ramirez, do you recall reviewing State's Exhibit number 1 in each of these cases with your attorney and signing those documents?
I do, and I agree, ma'am.
Mr. Huffman, well, did you understand, Mr. Ramirez, did you understand everything in those documents?
Absolutely, ma'am.
Mr. Huffman, have you had more than 10 days to prepare defenses in each of these cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you explain the plea papers to your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has understood the admonishments, rights, and consequences of giving up these rights by entering his pleas today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramirez, are you satisfied with your attorney's representation of you?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Mr. Huffman, any reason to believe your client is not presently competent to enter his pleas?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramirez, have you ever been found mentally incompetent by any court?
No, ma'am.
Ever been examined by a doctor or psychiatrist who has found you mentally ill?
Not that I recall.
Let me ask you, do you have any kind of mental health conditions, either diagnosed by a doctor, or are you feeling anything that I guess mentally is preventing you from understanding what we're doing?
No, ma'am.
Have you been able to effectively communicate with your attorney, Mr. Huffman, on both of these cases?
That's possible, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So based on your testimony, your attorney's representations, and my observations of you, I'm going to find that you are competent to enter your pleas today. Sir, are you a U.S. citizen?
I am.
Where were you born?
Here in El Paso, Texas.
Sir, in cause number ending 2234, you were charged by indictment with the state jail felony offense of possession of a controlled substance in penalty group 1 or 1B in an amount less than 1 gram. Sir, to that charge, what is your plea? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, ma'am.
In cause number ending 3594, you were charged with again a state jail felony offense of criminal mischief in an amount less than $30,000. On that charge, sir, what is your plea? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, ma'am.
Are you making each of your pleas freely and voluntarily?
I am.
I will find you are making your pleas freely and voluntarily. Ms. Ortega, would you summarize the evidence, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Had the state proceeded to trial in cause number 2023-0D02234, the state would have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that Arturo Ramirez on the 30th day of March 2023 did then and there intentionally or knowingly possess a controlled substance, namely methamphetamine, having an aggregate weight, including adulterants or dilutants in the amount of less than 1 gram. And that in cause number 2023-0D03594, state would approve and beyond a reasonable doubt that Arturo Ramirez on the 23rd day of December 2021 to on or about the 1st of January 2022 did then and there intentionally and knowingly damage or destroy tangible property, namely a power receptacle breaker box, by installing a power cable into the power receptacle or breaker box without the effective consent of Geraldine Lester, the owner of the property, and causing a loss of less than $30,000 to the owner, and that the defendant thereby caused to be diverted public power supply by installation of a power cable to the breaker box and diverted the power supply to a different address. The state would move to admit states exhibits 1 through 4, with 1 being the plea documents, 2 being the appeal waiver, 3 being the 3914 disclosure forms, and number 4 being the virtual plea waiver for each case. And we would ask that those be ran concurrently.
All right, in terms of states 1, 2, 3, and 4, I believe they were offered. So is there any objection?
Your Honor, no objection.
States 1, 2, 3, and 4 admitted, and is it 8 months state jail on each case running concurrent? Mr.
Yes, Your
Jacob?
Honor, and the state is offering to dismiss the misdemeanor case, which we will file in a separate court.
Okay, Mr. Huffman, is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Ramirez, is that your understanding as well?
Agreed.
Understand that the plea agreement is not binding on the court. However, if I were to reject it, I would allow you to withdraw your pleas. If I follow the plea agreement, you may not appeal these cases except on matters raised by written motion and ruled on before trial or by permission of the court. The next document I'm going to ask you about is the 1-page document entitled The Trial Court Certification of Your Right to Appeal. It is a document that explains your appeal rights. Because these are plea bargained or negotiated cases, you do not have an automatic right of appeal. Mr. Ramirez, do you recall reviewing the trial court certification for each of these cases and signing that document?
Yes, sir.
It was signed by your attorney and signed by the court as well. So on your pleas of guilty and the evidence introduced, I will accept your pleas and at this time find the evidence substantiates your guilt. We'll find you guilty in cause number ending 2234 with possession of a controlled substance in penalty group 1 or 1B in an amount less than 1 gram. And in cause number ending 3594, find you guilty of criminal mischief less than $30,000. I will sentence you in each case to 8 months confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice State Jail Facility. Those sentences will run concurrent with one another and you will receive credit for any and all time that you have served. Is there anything further, Ms. Ortega?
Not from the state, thank you.
Mr. Huffman?
Your Honor, Ms. Welch was nice enough to run the time credit on these 2 cases. Both cases are showing a credit of 209 days. So he's about a month short, Judge.
Okay, there you go, Mr. Ramirez. Thank you very much. Is there anything else, Mr. Huffman?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then we're adjourned on this case. Good luck to you, Mr. Ramirez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, court.
Who's next?
Middle of page 22, Judge.
Mhm.
Annex, may we have Akira Dominic?
Coming up, Your Honor. Yeah.
Is that Mr. Baquera?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
In cause number 2023-0D04061, State of Texas versus Dominic Vaquera. Announcement of council, please.
Dollar Ortega for the state is ready.
Rick Huffman on Rick Huffman on behalf of Mr. Vaquera, we are ready.
and Mr. Baquera is appearing remotely for his plea today, Mr. Baquera. I believe I did receive a written consent from you to conduct this plea over Zoom. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's get
And
started
Judge-
with you.
Oh,
Monday.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Judge. I don't believe I sent that.
You know what? And
Are you able to get one?
I took the liberties of kind of making one for us.
Okay,
I had to get it done.
Mr. Marufo, will you confirm that we have one on Mr. Baquera?
just for the record, the state has no objection to proceeding virtually, although we normally are the ones that prepare that form.
I apologize. I had to get it done.
Understood.
Yes, we do have one, and it's signed by stamped by Miss Ortega, and
It is signed. Yeah.
Okay.
I used-
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm just kind of,
All right, that's it. So
Okay.
Mr. Vaquera, the state and you are both agreeing to conduct this over Zoom. You want to get started with your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that any testimony you provide will be the truth and the whole truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. You can put your hand down. Please state your name and date of birth for the record.
My name is Dominic Vaquera, date of birth March 9, 2006.
Mr. Vaquera, I did receive documentation. The first document, State's Exhibit number 1, are the plea papers in this case. Within that document, you're guaranteed certain rights, including the right to remain silent, the right to trial by jury, the right to counsel, the right to confront and cross-examine witnesses, and the right to call witnesses on your behalf and in your defense. Mr. Vaquera, do you recall reviewing State's Exhibit number 1 with your attorney and signing that document?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within that document?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Huffman, have you had more than 10 days to prepare a defense in this case?
yes, Your Honor.
And did you explain the plea papers to your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has understood the admonishments, rights, and consequences of giving up these rights by entering his plea today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Vaquera, are you satisfied with your attorney's representation of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Huffman, any reason to believe your client is not presently competent to enter his plea?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Vaquera, have you ever been found mentally incompetent by any court?
No, ma'am.
Ever been examined by a doctor or psychiatrist who has found you mentally ill?
No, ma'am.
So based on your testimony, your attorney's representations, and my observations of you, I'm going to find that you are competent to enter your plea. Sir, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Where were you born?
El Paso, Texas.
Okay, in this case, you were charged by indictment with the third-degree felony offense of obstruction or retaliation. Sir, to that charge, what is your plea, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are you making your plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
I will find you are making your plea freely and voluntarily. Ms. Ortega, would you summarize the evidence, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Had the state proceeded to trial in cause number 2023-0D04061, the state would have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant Dominic Vaquera on the 10th day of June 2023 did then and there intentionally or knowingly threaten to harm another, to wit, Peter Fonte, by an unlawful act, to wit, to shoot Peter Fonte in retaliation for or on account of the service of Peter Fonte as a public servant, to wit, the City of El Paso police officer. State would move to admit State's Exhibits 1 through 3, 1 being the plea documents, 2 being the appeal waiver form, and 3 being the 3914 disclosure form. And in addition, we'll agree to the virtual plea waiver being admitted as well.
Any objection, Mr. Huffman?
No objection, Your Honor.
States 1 through 3 are admitted. What is a plea agreement?
Your Honor, we're going to recommend 5 deferred for this defendant, along with several other conditions. I'm sorry, I had to exit out of that one. 1 second. It is going to be a UABA twice a month, 300 hours of community service, screen for TAP, anger management, no contact with co-defendants Nathan Sotelo or Roberto Rodriguez, a curfew, and $300 fine.
Mr. Huffman, is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Vaquera, is that your understanding as well?
Yes, ma'am.
I understand that the plea agreement is not binding on the court. However, if I were to reject it, I would allow you to withdraw your plea. If I follow the plea agreement, you may not appeal this case except on matters raised by written motion and ruled on before trial or by permission of the court. The next document I'm going to ask you about is a 1-page document entitled The Trial Court Certification of Your Right to Appeal. It is a document that explains your appeal rights. Because this is a plea bargained or negotiated case, you do not have an automatic right of appeal. Mr. Vaquera, do you recall reviewing the trial court certification with your attorney and signing that document?
Yes, ma'am.
Was signed by your attorney and signed by the court as well. Finally, Mr. Vaquera, the motion for deferred adjudication. Mr. Vaquera, do you recall reviewing the motion for deferred adjudication with your attorney and signing that document?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Huffman, did you explain to your client both the benefits and detriments of deferred adjudication?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Mr. Vaquera, do you understand that if you violate a condition of deferred adjudication, the court can proceed to sentence you up to the full range of punishment for this offense? That's anywhere between 2 and 10 years in prison. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you still asking the court to grant you deferred adjudication?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in this case, I I will find there is sufficient evidence to substantiate a finding of guilt. However, I will not enter a finding of guilt at this time. Instead, I will defer further proceedings and place you on deferred adjudication probation for a period of 5 years. There will be a I'm sorry, was it a $300 fine or a $3,000 fine?
300, Your Honor.
$300 fine. I'm going to probate the fine because you are indigent, which means you won't owe the fine unless you're not compliant with your probation, and then you won't owe the fine. 300 hours of community service. You're subject to urine and breath analysis 2 times a month. Screen for TAP. You are to take anger management. You have to have no contact with the 2 individuals mentioned earlier, and you are subject to a curfew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. unless you are working or going to school. Ms. Ortega, anything further?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Huffman?
Your Honor, my client's on probation, juvenile probation. It's our understanding that that probation, he's going to be discharged from probation, but I don't believe that's been done yet, and I don't have a guarantee that that's going to be done. I assume he's going to be discharged, but technically this is a violation of his probation in the juvenile court, and I don't have a guarantee, what's going to happen out there. Also, it doesn't appear that he has a hold for that probation case, so I think they've lifted the hold. It looks like, but I'm not 100% on that either. We also have 2 misdemeanors, Judge, so we're not quite done with our cases, and hopefully we'll get those sorted out soon, Mr. Vaquera.
Okay, so are you set for anything in the misdemeanors? Because I mean, he's gonna.
No, and I will make sure we get those cases set as soon as possible.
Okay, well. Alrighty, well then, good luck to you, sir. Sounds like you still have some things going on, but you're done in my court. At least for a live case. You're on probation. Look, Mr. Vaquera, I don't know what's in your juvenile history. I see what you got arrested for in the misdemeanor cases here. Do not mess up on probation here. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Was there any what was the nature of the juvenile offenses? Did it involve weapons at all?
I believe it was an assault on it. Actually, can you answer that, Mr. Vaquera? What are you on probation for in the juvenile court?
It was assault on a public service worker.
That's what I thought. But there's no deadly weapon, anything like that involved, right?
Look,
No.
Mr. Vaquera, I don't need to know all those details, but it sounds like you've come across some circumstances, and you're picking up cases, and you're young. And I don't know right now, you're here in my court. I don't know if you're going to continue to be in my court for the rest of your life or what. But you need to make some choices and straighten things out, because you're not headed in the right direction. I don't know, maybe you've changed your mindset. Do not come back. Do your probation like you're supposed to and get your life straight.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Huffman. Carla, if you're there, I guess we can just make a notation. I don't know if he's still going to be, is he being held on the misdemeanors?
Yes.
Okay, so we might have some trouble getting him. We need to know when he's going to get out. All right. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Vaquera.
He's a very supportive family as well, Judge.
I hope so. All right. Next.
Judge, on page 21, second on page 21. Downtown, do you have Mr. Malone, Randy?
Yes, sir.
Cause number 2022-0D03106, State of Texas versus Randy Malone. Announcement of council, please.
Chantal Ortega for the state. The state is ready.
I'm sorry, Judge. Rick Huffman on behalf of Mr.
Malone.
Malone.
Okay, we're scheduled. Were you done, Mr. Huffman?
Yes, Judge. I didn't see this one on my calendar, so I'm just pulling up my notes here.
Okay. And Mr. Malone is appearing remotely from the downtown jail. We're scheduled for a bond hearing. Let me know when you're ready, Mr. Huffman.
Your Honor, Mr. Malone has basically been in custody for a long time. He was in the Doña County jail. And he was extradited here to El Paso. So it wasn't like a missed court date. Well, I think it was a missed court date, but he was in the Doña County jail. He's recently pled and received a sentence of 3 years probation out there in Las Cruces. He lives with his mom in Las Cruces. Mr. Malone's 30 years old. He works at a retirement facility where he's a manager, and he's pretty sure that job is still going to be available when he gets out. These cases, they're pretty straightforward, Judge. Nonviolent offenses. We have 3.5 grams of meth and 0.4 grams of cocaine, allegedly. It's likely a probation case. I just wanted to kind of bring it to the court's attention and ask for a PR bond so that because he has been in jail and in custody for a long time. That's all I have.
Well, it looks like, at least to my record, my docket, at least here in El Paso or here at well, he's only been in custody of, less than 2 weeks.
Well, it's right, but I'm talking about in the Doña County jail, and I don't think I don't know if he ever actually got out on bond here.
Yeah, he had a PR bond, if I'm not mistaken, and then he failed to show. It looks like the final setting was the final hearing plea deadline. I'm not sure at what point we lost track of him.
I
But
want to say it's been like he was in jail in the Doña County like 8 months for 8 months, the past 8 months, basically.
for what, different offenses?
Correct. It
Okay.
wasn't a court date. He was in custody.
So he missed court because he was in custody,
Well, yes.
because he picked up new offenses.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Mr. Huffman?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Ortega?
Yes, Your Honor, PR bond, the state does not believe it's appropriate here. This defendant is a flight risk. Even though the charges are not violent, he does have a criminal history, including a 2014 intox assault. The new charge that he picked up, so this date of offense is on August 2021, but on June 19, 2022, he picked up an aggravated assault possession by felon in New Mexico in Doña Ana. He also so I mean, part of those conditions were pick up no new offenses. He did pick up new offenses, and because they were in New Mexico and we only got him back because of that warrant, we would ask that the court set a surety bond and an amount that it thinks is appropriate for the charges.
I'm looking at the PSR, in other words, basically some priors. It appears the bulk of the priors are in Las Cruces, New Mexico or Albuquerque. And I'll just go through some of the probably 10 pages here. We have burglary, tampering with evidence, larceny, aggravated burglary. Let's see, tampering, that's the same one. Contributing to the delinquency of a minor, contempt of court, misdemeanor, aggravated first DWI, open container, let's see, assault on a peace officer, disorderly conduct. See, failure to appear at time and place and citation, that was in, it looks like 2006. This one's hard to read. Several failures to appear, then contempt of court. 2016, failure to appear. Concealing identity. Probation violation in 2017. Probation violation. It's kind of hard to see if that's a date or what that is. Here's another one, 2019 probation violation. Homicide by vehicle in New Mexico, 2019. Albuquerque battery. Danya Anna, attempted battery, household member. Transportation or possession of a firearm or destructive device by a felon. Out of state fugitive, that's probably our case. So. What's his bond? 100,000?
That's what it was, 1,000 PR.
But it's 100,000 now, right?
It should, let me take
Yeah.
a look.
That request is denied. His bond is gonna stay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Move,
On page 21, Judge, just below it. Annex, may we have Martinez, Angie Martinez?
Is that Mr. Avalar?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
What's the rec on this, by the way, Your Honor?
Oh, I don't know.
In cause number 2022-0D05686, State of Texas versus Angie Lisa Martinez. Announcement of council, please.
And Keller take it for the state is ready.
And Daniel Avalar for the for Ms. Martinez, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, and Ms. Martinez is appearing remotely from the jail annex. We are scheduled for a bond hearing. Mr. Avalar, you may proceed.
Judge, I might have to proceed by question and answer, but if there's a wreck, we might take care of it, Your Honor. Not proceed with the bond hearing.
So this is a fentanyl one, and it is, the minimum is 10 years.
Okay, I'll go with the bond hearing.
All right,
Where do I sign?
all right, you're scheduled for a bond hearing. You said you needed to proceed question and answer. Is that right, Mr. Avalar? Ms.
Please, Your Honor.
Martinez, would you raise your right hand, please? Ma'am, do you swear or affirm that any testimony you provide will be the truth and the whole truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mr. Avalar. You may proceed.
Hi, Ms. Martinez. Hi, how long have you been in custody, ma'am?
For 4 months?
In fact, we've had a bond hearing for you before, correct?
Yes.
And you couldn't make that bond, correct?
No, it was too high.
You've made efforts to write through family and friends, etc. Is that you need to answer for your record?
Yes.
And are you from El Paso or Texas? Where are you from?
I was born in El Paso, Texas.
Okay, and raised as well?
Yes.
Do you have family members here, correct?
My kids and my mom. Yes.
Okay. And you retained our office, correct? You hired us, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever been to prison?
Yes.
How many times have you been in prison?
Once in California and once in Texas.
Okay. Are you asking this court to reduce your bond?
Yes, please.
What funds do you have to ensure that you can appear to all your court hearings?
I've been in pure bonds and I always report.
Where are you in custody?
We're not going to court.
Judge, nothing. I passed the witness here.
Ms. Ortega?
No questions of this witness, Your Honor. The state's position is that bond is set appropriately and she is a flight risk due to the serious nature and the minimum and the time that she is facing due to these charges. In Texas, only apart from the California pen trip, which she's mentioned, there's a 2013 state jail trip here and a 2014 state jail trip. And as she noted, she has not appeared for court in front of you before.
May I add to that, Your Honor?
Okay.
Judge, for some reason, I have in my notes in July of 2023 that her rec is 18 months of state jail.
Is that on the unauthorized use?
I don't specify in my notes what it's for.
So let me just add for the record, I'm sorry, Ms. Ortega, is that she also has cause number 2022-0D03563. We need to make sure these two cases are set together because they also filed a motion to reduce bond in that case. And so that's maybe where you're seeing the state jail rec on there, Mr. Avalar.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, the range is 10 to 99 in this case because of the fentanyl and because it's manufacturer delivery.
All right. Each of the two cases, so 3563 and 5686 were addressed I think back in August, and they're both 40,000 split 2020. So you're asking for a further reduction than that, Mr. Avalar?
Respectfully, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that request is respectfully denied in each case. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Martinez, I'll go see you soon, okay?
Yeah. Who's next?
Judge, I need to check if the downtown facility has Martinez Hector. Downtown, are you there? Okay.
Mr. Marufo, Hector Martinez, he caught chain to the annex. I'm going to go upstairs to see if the annex chain has left or not, so maybe we can catch him before he leaves.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Okay.
Judge, may I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Avalar.
Later, bye.
Mr.
So
Monaco
that's-
wasn't, sorry, Judge, wasn't he there earlier when we first logged on? Didn't they say he was there?
I thought I heard that too, Edith.
Yeah, they said he was there. I don't know why they took him to chain him.
Oh, I thought it was the other Martinez.
Oh, sorry,
Sweet.
Judge. All right, well, I'm here.
Well, we're here for a status.
Right.
So let me see, hold on, let me
Can I
get
waive
to,
his presence and we can continue?
yes,
Thank you.
go ahead.
In cause number 2021-0D02834, State of Texas versus Hector Martinez. Announcement of council, please.
Until I take it for the state is ready.
Edith Payan on behalf of Mr. Martinez, and we are ready.
So we're set for a status conference. Although we anticipated Mr. Martinez appearing remotely from the jail, he is not available at this time. Ms. Bayan, are you agreeable to go forward without your client?
Yes, ma'am, I waive his presence for purposes of the status conference.
Okay, so it looks like we just had him returned. I do see you also filed a motion to reduce bond. I don't want to proceed on that. I was just filed yesterday. But what are we looking at here is, let me see, it's a 2021 case. Honestly, I don't, let me go back and see who he is. What's an update? I mean, we got to get you a trial track, but what's going on?
Your Honor, I'll update you briefly, and in my pleadings, I set out a brief timeline. I don't have the date of offense, but this is filed as a continuous, and it seems like, it almost seems like there's two complaining witnesses, the mom and the dad in this continuous based on the report. So I need to do some research on that, but notwithstanding that, this happened in his home with his parents. I've obtained non-process from both of them. I believe it's the mom who's alleged in the indictment, but they are very supportive. They want him home. I just did about 2:30 emailed the two non-process to Ms. Ortega, so I know she will need time to look into them and verify them. But this was the type of situation where the parents are calling for help. And they called the police for help, and of course, he got arrested. There were some competency issues. He did go to the state hospital and to Rio Grande State Hospital on the original commitment, and then there was a 60-day extension. He was found competent at the end of August. I had my social workers and I, between the two of us, we had about 3 Zoom hearings with him. He is minimally competent. He gets basic understanding. So basically, Your Honor, what I was hoping is if the state could look into those non-prosecution statements in the meantime, I would ask for the bond hearing and see, we obviously he's going to need mental health treatment and he needs to get linked, and we need an offer. And I was hoping for some sort of misdemeanor probation, but I'm sure that's getting ahead of myself. But I do need an offer, and depending on what kind of offer the state gives me, we may or may not be able to resolve it. But I would like the bond hearing in the interim, maybe set for next week. I don't know the court schedule. I know we can't do it today, nor am I prepared to do it today.
So let me ask, do you know if he's receiving any kind of treatment, ongoing treatment while he's in jail?
He is, Judge, and since he came back from the state hospital, they have to keep him on the same drugs, the same formulary. So for now, yes, and the HN liaison works with him, so we would get him linked, and the court knows the routine.
Okay.
But yes,
So what we'll do on the front end is, Myrna, we need to get him a trial track. Somewhat expedited, I would say within 3 or 4 months. I know that doesn't seem expedited. It's just I'm thinking of the calendar, and that's probably as good as it's going to get. So we can get you some interim settings if the state is going to want to go forward and you all do not reach an agreement, then we can have him. I really don't want him to decompensate, since you're saying that he's kind of just there. And so we'll get you a trial track, request your bond hearing. We are going to be tight scheduled here. So if it becomes impossible to set here, then give us the heads up, and I, can possibly refer you to someone maybe at the JMAC or one of the other
Okay.
parts. Okay, but we'll get you an expedited schedule and then get the case moving. Okay.
So should I follow up with Ms. Hernandez later today or tomorrow for the bond hearing date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Tomorrow, probably tomorrow.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
You may be excused.
You may. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Who's next?
Top of page 22, Judge. I need to check if the downtown, do you have Thomas?
Yes, sir. He's right here. And Mr. Marufo, I called right now. And that chain was barely leaving. So,
No
Sorry.
worries, they took care of it.
okay. Thomas Dillon's right here, sir. Are you ready?
So I told you it was former prosecutor day today. Hi, Mr. Herrera.
Good afternoon, Judge. How are you?
I'm well. I was just telling folks all morning because we had a Miss Rago, we had Miss Vergara, we had all kinds of folks. And I said, the only
Oh.
one missing is Brian Herrera.
Here I am, Judge.
And here you are. So let's get started.
In cause number 2023-0D05404, State of Texas versus Jalen Thomas. Announcement of council, please.
Caller taken for the state. State is ready. And Your Honor, this is well, I'll let Mr. Herrera announce.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Brian Herrera for Mr. Jalen Thomas, present and ready.
And Mr. Thomas is appearing remotely from the downtown jail. We're scheduled for a bond hearing today. Mr. Herrera? Or I'm sorry, Mr. Ortega, were you going to add something?
Only that Mr. Herrera and I discussed this one. This defendant had posted bond on the PR Revo. And you can correct me if I'm wrong.
No. So, and I guess I can clarify for the court, Your Honor. So, in the 2023 5404 case, he bonded out back in August of this year. He did not reoffend, but he was arrested on an old warrant that predates this cause number. He was granted a PR bond in the new case. And the previous bond was $50,000 with 45,000 PR, 5,000 cash or surety. He's now been in custody 2 weeks after that bond was revoked and set at 100,000, Your Honor. So just to provide some context, I mean, he was rearrested off the street, but it was off of the warrant that predates the indicted case. So
not just the offense date, it was charged, the whole thing was prior to this case, is that right?
Prior to this case, Your Honor.
Oh.
Yes. And he's 18 years old. He lives with his mother, who's a single mom, and his brother. And from what I understand, I mean, she had to scrounge whatever she could to make that initial $5,000 cash or surety bond back in August. He's a full-time student. He was actually supposed to start at Keys High School last week, but he's been in custody. So, I mean, we would ask Your Honor to at least reinstate the initial bond or grant a PR bond. I mean, he had been compliant. I've been in close contact with his mother, and right now she just wants him in school, Judge.
Okay, so let me just be clear. So there was nothing new while he was on these bond conditions, right? Or what he was, I don't know if he was on PR, he was just on straight surety. Is that what it was?
It was a 45,000 PR and a 5,000 surety.
Okay. So I'm just gonna put him on, is this his only case?
Well,
Yes.
there's
The two.
the two
Yes.
now, right?
So there's a
Gotcha.
July offense date and then this one.
Okay, so Ms. Ortega, do you have anything? Are you?
I don't have any objection. No, Your Honor. We believe
Okay.
that's appropriate here as well.
We're gonna go with a straight PR bond. It's gonna be a $10,000 PR bond. Do we have a PR bond, or is there a PR component on the other case?
Yes, Your Honor. It's a full PR bond, and let me see.
Ms. Welch, if you can look at what's the cause number on that?
Judge,
There's
I
no
just, oh, go ahead, Chantal, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so they're still working on it. I just show a control number that it's in office now. I don't have a second cause number. Still at P.
Okay,
I have a
So
P
in-
bond.
In this case, it'll be a $10,000 PR bond, report monthly, commit no new offenses, subject to urine and breath analysis. What is the alleged place of incident? Is it a business burglary, a building?
It is, Your Honor.
It's a building, yes.
It's, I believe,
My portal's
So-
not working.
Stay away from the property in question. Here, curfew from 10 PM to 6 AM unless he is working or going to school. Okay?
yeah, it's
So use
18
no. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. It's 1831 Joe Battle. It's Charlie Clark
Oh,
dealership.
so you can't go there, Mr. Thomas. Subject to urine and breath analysis and no illegal drug or alcohol, okay?
No, thank you, Ronnie.
All right, good luck to you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Herrera. Good to see you.
You too, Judge. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Who's next?
Bottom of page 22, Judge. Annex, we have Williams.
Tell me now.
I believe that was it for downtown, right, Mr. Modifo?
Correct. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You guys have a good day.
Thank you. On Jose Maldonado, were those just reset?
Yes,
Yes,
because he has a new indicted case, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Williams.
In cause number 2021-0D01771, State of Texas versus Denzel Bradley Williams. Announcement of council, please.
$1 ticket for the state. State is ready.
Rick Huffman, on behalf of Mr. Williams, we are ready.
Okay. So he's been in custody for a while, so let me see if we're here for a probation status hearing. Mr. Williams is appearing remotely from the jail annex. Let me just pull up this report to refresh my memory. Okay. The recommendation is yes. So it's what I thought. I'm at time. So did you all work out a number?
Not yet, Your Honor. We respectfully ask for 30 days. The DWI is still being screened and he picked up those 2 new cases.
So what are the new cases? I'm sorry.
For Mr. Denzel Williams, it
Uh-huh.
is unlawful
Lawful
carrying of
carry.
a weapon and driving while intoxicated, both for June 15th, 2023 offense dates.
That's a long time ago. Mr. Huffman, you want to go on a contested rebel? Or you want to take, what's his,
Yeah, I don't think we're in agreement with time, Judge. We're hoping the court might consider different options.
I'm at time.
Maybe the court will hear us out at a contested rebel. I'll speak to my client. He's a productive member of our community, Your Honor, and we don't know much about the new cases. They have been filed.
We'll do this, Mr. Huffman, we'll do a pre-rebel in 30 days, okay?
And they'll try to get those filed.
All right. All right, anything else?
Nothing from the state.
Out from the defense.
Thank you very much, we'll see you in 30 days.
Can you hear me?
Mr. Woody? Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. I have a question. So as far as resuming 30, does that mean that I'll still be incarcerated for up to 30 because I have a job lined up and also at risk of losing my apartment?
Yes, I mean, and I don't know if if you had requested a bond before, Mr. Huffman? And we had a bond?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. I will file a motion for bond reduction. And we'll have that hearing short, when the court can get us in, Mr. Williams.
Okay, yes, sir, because I haven't received a bond and I've been for about 60 days of incarceration, a little bit more.
So I have you down, yeah, around 45, 50 days. But understand, Mr. Williams, that right now, based on the hearing that we had, let me see, I'm looking at them. At the last hearing we had, based on the violations I'm seeing right now, the court is not intending to keep you on probation. Okay, so that's why I'm sending you for a pre-revocation hearing. Your attorney will talk to you about anything else on your case. Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's next?
That's it for this afternoon's docket.